Say yes.
Okay, good. You don't see the monastery scene anymore, right?
Correct.
Okay, guys, we are going to be right back. Akama, jump over to
Oh.
in-game chat real quick.
Goodbye forever. See you next year. What you get?
Okay.
What?
All right, so you realize, Akama, that this creature is one of the Dark Fae. These creatures are horrific, immensely powerful, kind of cousins to the typical Fae that are known throughout the Megaverse. These are closer to almost like demon kind than regular Fae, even the most mischievous threads of the regular Fae. Now, the reason that you remember this is because these creatures are native to one of the few, or I'm sorry, to one of the many different realities and worlds that are accessed through the home of your clan, the great Dyson sphere called Terra Orbis. Within this Dyson sphere, there are several gateways that each lead to different dimensions, worlds, realities, etc. And because of this, your clan settled on this Dyson sphere because of their kind of nomadic nature and their kind of desire to help others. When they found this location, they decided that it was the perfect place to set up camp and really establish a presence. And they've been extremely busy trying to explore and claim territory within the Dyson sphere, especially at strategic locations like the mighty and vaunted Gate Room that has access to so many other places and dimensions that their building up of their own power structure and infrastructure has been slow going. So your clan, Draco Amicus, they are very concerned with, as stated, helping others, especially those less powerful than themselves. And they see Terra Orbis as a great opportunity to spread their influence to other regions just by having one centralized location there. So, all of that being said, early on in their exploration of Terra Orbis, they found what appeared to be a very magically rich environment through one of the great portals. This environment had every aspect that a magic wielding society could ask for. There were plentiful natural resources, including completely palatable water, everything, both flora and fauna, was edible and nutritious. It appeared as though it was essentially a paradise, and the dimensional structure, the dimensional fabric of this place, of this plane of existence, it was so malleable and sponge-like that any magical or psionic force that was expelled from those within it could be in some ways amplified by the environment itself. Now, that doesn't sound extremely exotic, but consider that the reason Rift's Earth is so singular and unique is that it itself is a overloading battery, an overflowing dam of magical energy. It is a constant storm of magical forces, and that is why all different manner of demons, angels, creatures, mortals, aliens, and intelligences flock there, because it's almost like an aquarium that can keep anything alive and anything can prosper within it. Very rare. This particular dimension, it had a fundamental similarity to Rift's Earth in that way. Because here, any level of magic user, psionicist, anybody with any kind of extra physical powers that came here that had any kind of supernatural basis, their quasi mystical makeup would actually be enhanced here. It would be grown and developed just by being in this environment. And so you had heard tales that it was speculated early on in the exploration of this place that a low-level wizard of a mundane beginning could come and stay in this place long enough, and just by being here eventually be incredibly powerful just by right of his power kind of being amplified over time. Now, there was a lot of speculation as to the physics and metaphysics of this, and it was unknown whether that power would remain after the caster left, or if there would be, a just huge, almost nuclear explosion from all of that extra accumulated power from this place discharging all at once before the being crossed back to over a threshold to another reality. None of these things had really been able to be tested, because before that level of study could be done, there was basic exploration that had to take place. And that came in the form of simple wanderings and taking samples of the biological native flora and fauna. Now, everything went fairly well for the first few weeks until the exploration teams started reporting sightings of strange, dark figures just out of clear sight that somehow were able to completely evade detection and pursuit, even by magical means. Now, Atlanteans are known to be incredibly proficient, especially in the arts of exploration, because of their magical natures and their millennia of experience and craft in doing those kinds of works. They are nomads, vagabonds, and roguish by nature, and aided by their spells, tattoos, and mystical abilities, they're some of the most prevalent explorers and skilled expeditionists in the Megaverse. For them to be at a loss as to how to catalog and quantify simple denizens of a realm should be almost unheard of. They've got ways to do almost everything when it comes to that particular topic. But what they found is that very quickly, their presence drew what appeared to be the kind of ruling class of the realm. And before they could figure out what the dark figures that were observing them in the wilds were, they were approached by what appeared to be some kind of nobility, or, like I said, the ruling class. As these sky ships came in under white flags of peace, bearing out and waving boldly over the sides of the ships, the Atlanteans, in typical military etiquette, laid their arms down, and many of their number forewent any kind of hostile or protective action as they waited for dignitaries to appear and begin negotiations and initial diplomatic relations. As the several sky ships closed, however, the Atlanteans noticed far too late that there appeared to be no crew on these ships, and As they came just close enough within eye shot to be able to identify, the Atlanteans breathed in horror to the last man as they realized that blazing energy cannons adorned each broadside of each ship in the small flotilla. And as the ships all turned in unison to come about and show these hulking cannons to the Atlanteans' full face, the expedition group was annihilated by heavy advanced energy weapons fire, the kind usually restricted to starships and large, militaristic starborn forces. The only the only survivor to the event was horribly mangled, but was able to use a device of her own creation that was able to do an emergency kind of portal opening below her and dropping her directly into a medical facility, something she had been working with a family member on as a way to save Atlantean lives in hostile environments. Although she lost both arms and a leg, as well as her hearing and sight, she did survive long enough to write down what she had witnessed, and in that give a final warning to her clan and kinsmen. With those events, that dimension was deemed extremely hostile and inhospitable because of the lack of knowledge that was able to be gathered about it in the short time that they had access, as well as the obvious technological superiority of the forces present in the interior of the zone. As all remaining forces were being withdrawn from this realm, this creature was seen several times in different treetops and on several ridges and mountain peaks, overlooking the full withdrawal of all of the Atlantean forces from that place. All pictures and video and info logs of these expeditionary forces are standard education material at your clan's educational academies. And this image of the creature, at the time that you were learning about these incidents, burned into your mind as something incredibly terrifying. You realize now that that is definitely the creature that you had seen in your dreams. Okay, are you back on the page with the monastery? Yeah. Okay, excellent. We can go ahead and switch back over now.
All right.
Yeah, no, it's
Okay.
It's always supposed to be on.
Weird.
Yeah.
All right, guys. How we doing?
Fine. I was
Good.
just trying to figure out how to see icons, like facial, or the profile pictures of people closer on Roll20, because he was saying at the bottom of the screen you should see it, but I just see names and the color of the person's like dye or whatever, but I don't see icons of the faces.
The avatars, yeah, that's weird because I see all of yours. And I was just trying to show what Ymir's face looks like.
Jump into settings and go, I think it's audio and video. Try clicking on I could see or hear video. Output source. I think there's another one that does this too. Let me see. Player video avatar size is over in video display. The tab that's the other tab in audio video. And that might be turned to like off. I don't know.
I've got it on names. It's set to names only.
Yeah,
There
so
we
so go
go.
like small. There you go.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then then you can actually make them bigger too. So,
Yep.
okay,
So
so
now you can actually see Ymir's face, though, Ren. Like I said, this is just temporary, right?
But you do. So your character does have like a red beard and an underbite with some tusks kind of sticking out a little bit.
Yes. Yeah. Big. Think of them as like Cro-Magnon teeth. You know, they're not like orc where they grow up and fucking pierce through the top lip or anything like that. But just generally like that. Yeah, a little bit of an underbite, big red beard, pale white skin, and bright blue eyes or piercing blue eyes. Like really ethereal white skin, not human. Not like we're not talking Scotsman pale here. We're talking white, like looking like almost the Mad Max white. Yeah.
All right. Sorry. I'm trying to figure that out.
Yep.
But thank you for the assistance, and I'm all good now.
No problem. Yep. Sorry about that, GM. Sorry.
Oh,
about
you guys
that,
are good.
comma.
You guys are good. Okay, so the knock has happened at the door. Akama, that's what you remember. And Ren, you have secured the drones. Ymir has stood up and kind of collected himself. What would everybody like to do?
Put my axes on my belt, ready my hammer.
Okay, good. Good. You've got yourself all set. Yeah, what would you guys like to do now?
As I stood up, I look around and I see my other two comrades in the same manner as I am, like breathing hard, heart beating quick. And after that, I see Ren basically putting his drones away. And I look at Ymir as he is starting to get up and just seems very tired. I said, "Hey, I had a very weird dream. It seemed like it was very vivid. You guys had like something like that?"
Such things are common in my culture. Whether they are omens or positive tellings of the future, one can never tell.
Yeah, man. Right on.
I've gotten the idea that this place is just kind of comes with the cat. Kind of comes with the territory here. Are we gonna get the door?
And again, a rapping comes a tapping at your chamber door. Not like Popo, like, you know, maybe somebody's got some eggs or something for you. It's not it's definitely more like very respectful and trying not to like wake anybody, just trying to alert anybody that's awake that somebody's knocking. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I shout, "Who is it?"
Okay. And you hear Harmony's voice call back, "It's us."
Come back later. We're naked. And I'll giggle a little
We're
bit.
doing butt stuff.
Okay, at this you hear a sharp bark of laughter come out. You're not even sure you've heard her laugh before. And she giggles a couple of times, says, "Fair enough, we'll be back in 20 minutes.
No,
And,
we'll be right there.
Give us a second. We're getting dressed.
Okay.
Ymir
All right.
just shakes his head and makes his way towards the door.
Okay.
I'll yell, pull it out slowly. No.
Oh, wait, what? Ah!
Okay, and
I,
as you
put on my,
do this, Ren, you're not even sure if anybody heard, but this time all three of you hear this crazy wave of sound that washes across you almost like a layer of water being splashed on you from a bucket. And as it hits you, there's this kind of harmonic chime to the noise wave that as soon as it hits square in your centers of equilibrium, it just in the very center of your mind, you all release just a few drops of piss and have to clench your ass cheeks to not shit your pants. and all of your hands actually tighten up into balled fists, and you all kind of like arch your back a little bit and like straighten out, and almost like not quite a seizure, but very close to just a single pulse of that waving through your body. And as you do so, you all kind of look around and your eyes are kind of watering a little, and you all just look a little bit shell-shocked. And you hear Harmony yell through the door, "Sorry, you guys got to be careful about making her laugh. We'll be waiting at the benches for you."
Fuck.
And they disappear.
I'll sketch down a quick idea for my little drones to block my butt if that happens again.
Get a fucking cork.
I've got 2 of them, so I'll be like, one of us is fucked. But I got
Engage plug mode. I like that. I like that.
Stopper activated.
I gotta go clean myself up again, so I'll be back. I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
All right, you go take care of the dribble. Ymir, you just chuckle. These things, you know. No, you guys, everybody takes care of what they have to. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna put on my padding.
Okay.
And get my stuff together.
All right, you crazy bastard. You got your padding on. What else you got on? What are you wearing? What do you got? What's right on you, man?
My knives. Hey.
Okay, you got your knives. You got your medium padded on. You're wearing your spider silk tunic underneath the padded. Good.
Got my little backpack.
Okay. You got all your shit ready. God Hands is not on. We should probably go TW Shock Knife for your profile. And that means we got to do, let me see. Sorry, it's been a minute since I switched your guys' profile. So, Gravity Shock Knife, because you could basically draw that and attack in one attack. Apply pick. Modifiers. We got...
I close out of my character sheet.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to put it on...
Done.
Gravity Shock Knife. Expert Unboxing. That should be good. Replaces picked modifiers using this profile, and it should be that one. Using this profile. So let's... Perfect. Okay. So that worked. And... Okay, so you are all set up. Let's jump over to, and your MDC is good. If you would, Akama, go ahead and go into your character sheet and go ahead and recharge your ISP, PPE, both of those, and then I don't know if you were down on hit points or MDC. Okay, so just go ahead and refresh both of those, and Ren and Ymir, you guys can both refresh your ISP and PPE.
Okay.
I'm thinking...
You didn't adjust my MDC yet.
Oh, let me take a look. Sorry, I had...
Do I need to jump out before?
I don't think so. I had raised it...
It's still at 11. Should be 21 now.
Yeah, so it's showing 21 on my...
Oh, let me refresh my thing then, maybe.
Okay.
Let me reopen that.
And something I can actually do is I'm going to drop a token of Ren right here, and let's take a look and see what it says for...
Yeah, it's still saying 11 for me.
It's saying 11. So let me try and do it through the token real quick. 11, we're just going to go 21. Oh, you have to hit enter. That's why 21, enter. Yep. Okay,
Now it shows up. Yep.
perfect. Okay. I wonder if that's just for armor. Well, your PPE and everything look full, so I
I
think
just
we're good.
I just adjusted my PPE and my other stuff, my psionics, my
Excellent. Perfect.
ISP. That I could have a button that I can reset, but the armor, I guess, is up to you to do.
Okay.
Although I do have next to it though, there is a damage thing. I guess I could have gone -10 and then hit that and applied damage, and that might have fixed it myself.
It might have. I'm not sure. It's hard because I never mess with it from the player's side.
I can do that and then go back up. Okay. So yeah, I can't adjust it myself in the future. So you see, you can see
Okay, cool.
The chat thing. I just give myself -1 and then +1 to give it back to 21.
Nice. Okay, good shit. Let's see. Okay, so everybody is set. Everybody's got their gear. Ren, you're wearing what? You're kind of carrying what? How do you want to be specced out right now?
Sword back on my lower back. I'll throw my cloak on, but not hood up or anything or mask down.
Okay.
And I'll put my MDC plates on. And yeah, I guess my two little scouts, my little ferrets, they'll be, I'm guessing, like in a satchel on me, right? Like a small, like I don't have to really mention that they're coming with, really, do I? Or do I need to?
No, I'm gonna assume you're gonna keep them almost like in like a messenger bag or something. It's just something. Yeah. Okay.
Fanny pack.
Yeah. Right. Right.
And then I don't know exactly what we're doing, so like, should I be like just, I guess, asking the GM, would I be grabbing my rifle probably in this situation, just in case?
Yeah, you guys are basically heading out from this location, and
that's what I thought. So yeah, then I'm packing up fully. I'm grabbing all my stuff and my gun and
Yeah, this is our
chucking it over my
jumping
shoulder.
off point.
I thought so. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
Then I'm. Yeah.
On to the next chapter.
but you don't want any kind of like weapon in your hand. You just want to go ahead and throw your armor on, have everything packed up and ready to go, right?
Yeah, ready for travel. So fully armored in case something does happen. But like, yeah, other than that, just the regular travel mode.
Okay,
All
excellent.
over shoulder, sword stowed away in the back, drone's not active in the pouch.
Okay.
And ready to go.
Okay, and full armor up, everything's good. And Ymir?
Ymir, after he takes a giant shit and cleans his hands off.
Yeah,
and
giant
makes
fucking
himself-
shit, bro.
Yeah,
Giant
after-
fucking shit, bro. Talking like 4 rum hams here, people.
Oh, Renrul realized that he took a bath in what he thought was a big bathtub, but realized that was just a giant-sized toilet. He's like, "Oh, there's the bathtub. What did I take a bath? Oh, fuck!" No.
Your toilet needs a bigger hole.
It's a hole. It's big enough just for farts.
But for real, bro, it's a massive shit because you ate like a goddamn maniac. So
no, I did.
You know,
I had to, and especially being this early in the morning. Ymir's a mountain man, so
Yeah.
this is around coffee time. So
It's
everything's kind of
Yep.
So
Your bowels have a schedule, goddammit.
exactly.
So, all right,
So
man.
He gets all prepped up, but yeah, he's prepared for travel, sort of like Ren. Axes along his waistline, tucked away in their holsters along his waistline. His massive star metal hammer or maul is slung over his shoulder, along with his massive pack that's carrying all the stuff that he has.
All right, excellent. Excellent. Everybody's buttoned up. Everybody's ready to roll. You guys open the front door after just kind of, resetting everything in the room to whatever standards you're comfortable with. And as everybody slings their pack.
I feel sorry for the housekeeping
Yeah,
squad. That's all I'm gonna.
janitor's gonna be pissed, bro. Janitor's gonna be pissed
Fucking
off,
left it like that.
Is there
right?
a way to leave a? Is there a way to use our credits to leave a small tip for the cleanup staff?
Yeah, absolutely. As you guys all start heading out of the door, there are several different, not custodians, but just, personnel walking around, attendants walking around that are there for all of those kind of purposes, just for people to request things or whatever. And you see one such individual that is that exact same kind of prototype that you guys have been seeing over and over. You see one of these cloaked figures walking around with basically a modern data pad that's used for all of those purposes in hand. This is the way that you guys have been, renting rooms and doing different things like this, as we talked about before. And one of these individuals actually sees you looking at them and looks up at you almost quizzically, like, is there something I can help you with?
May
I pull out my finger guns, pointing at him, and I say, "Good luck," and then I wink and I turn around and walk away.
All right. So
I will,
as Akama insults the guy and spins on his heels and marches off, pleased with himself, what do you guys do?
I will go and grab, take his pad and see if I can leave a tip for him.
Oh, okay. He nods and hands it over to you, and it's just a very simple operating system. So you're comfortable, you know, you're comfortable that it's all going to go exactly as planned. So
As a player, what would be a kind of like customary price point for like a decent, not special, not like I'm not trying to flash anything, but just be decent. Like, okay, I'm a simple person and I'm trying to be decent enough to leave a tip without being insulting, but also not. What's a good price point?
so like 25 credits would be very generous. You know, 50 would be pretty, it would be pretty standout, and 100 would be, like, holy shit, this is like a big spender and somebody I'm going to make a priority no matter what.
I'll leave 25 credits.
Okay. All right. And as you leave this amount, you draw neither suspicion nor consternation. The attendant appears, just kind of neutral in the exchange, nods their head, and proceeds to come in and begin, pulling out cleaning supplies and stuff from a closet and going to work. All right, you guys are all exterior. You look over and you see Pilgrim looking completely like herself again. Currently, she's got her basically like a white robe that's just very kind of loose fitting and kind of sheer material. It kind of catches the morning sun in all these scintillating patterns. She has a very lovely, almost like otherworldly quality to her. And other than that kind of reflective pattern on the material, you guys don't really notice anything really obvious about it. She's no longer clad in the kind of explorer's outfit that she was wearing before. She seems to have foregone that just for simple comfort, and for some reason, she just doesn't seem to feel the need anymore to have any actual kind of physical protection external to her body right now, so she's just simply covering herself.
I'll just whisper to my group, don't make her laugh.
Okay. You guys also see that with her is Harmony. She is completely looking herself again. She looks fully healed and healthy once more. Her gear has been tended to. She's cleaned and field stripped everything, and she looks ready for both combat and long distance travel in equal measures. She as well has a large pack that seems to be loaded for a survivalist lifestyle, including the long barrel that she slings on her back. That you guys would guess, you've never really asked her much about her gear, other than Ren kind of inquiring, you know, about its sophistication and how impressive it seemed, and her kind of referencing her father. And other than that, though, you guys have caught little glimpses of it just in passing, and it is all extremely impressive. The long barrel, you would guess, could probably hit a target out to comparable ranges of most modern, extremely advanced machined rifles, and yet it looks like it might be something that the ancient civilizations of this continent, before the coming of the Europeans, were that something that would be used to slaughter buffalo, as like one of the largest kind of prey available and the most kind of rich and valuable source of meat and resources. It looks like it was hand tooled, and it has all kinds of kind of filigree, as well as almost like totems that have been attached, that seem to denote heroic deeds, monumental feats, battles, and wars won, things of great import to not just the wielder, but to the nations that the wielder supported throughout the ages. Truly some kind of what each one of you would guess is some kind of almost relic. Okay? Beyond that, though, the spear and the small flintlock that she wears at her chest. These each seem to have their own kind of stories as well. Each piece in turn being quite amazing in its own right. Now, the only thing that doesn't look especially important, or perhaps magical in nature, appears to be the sword, which honestly, you guys have seen it pulled from its scabbard only in the movements of the wielder, as you guys have been traveling together. And each one of you has noticed that it appears to be a silver coated blade. Other than that, you don't really notice anything particularly, interesting about it. Her armor also has that look of some kind of almost like a relic or an artifact. So anyway, that's a quick description. As you guys have a moment and you're able to look at her, you just are absorbing a little more detail. So, okay, Harmony greets you and asks, how did you sleep?
I slept surprisingly well.
Okay, at this, she kind of narrows her eyes a little bit.
I had a little bit of a small nightmare at the tail end of my sleep, but not too shabby. How was
And
your sleep?
as you say this, Pilgrim elbows Harmony in the back just very softly, almost in an I told you so kind of pantomime. Harmony looks at you a little bit severely, Akama, and she says, explain, please.
No, it's nothing too crazy. Just dreamt of some type of creature that I remembered in the past, but I mean, I'm here, I'm alive, I'm good, so nothing too extra.
Okay, she looks at you very seriously and she says, friend Atlantean, both my companion and myself, though far from your quarters last night, apparently had the same kind of dream. She said, was it a villainous, with a cruel and wicked grin, seemingly watching and waiting for an opportunity to pounce. A creature of shadow and most vile and evil to the eyes and the soul.
I look at Harmony and in a shocking manner, and I say, why yes, that's crazy that you guys had the same dream. What?
She,
Outstanding.
both of the women look at each other with a little bit of horror on their expressions. Ymir, Ren, what are you doing?
I'm just watching right now, trying to figure out.
Yeah,
Just
Ymir's expression just sort of changes from the stoic, sort of neutral expression he had when he first, but when he first hears that they had the exact same vision or dream that he did, he just sort of, it makes him react and speak up, and he goes, "Indeed, creature moved like a predator, had eyes filled with evil intent. I never caught a good glimpse of it, but I know a predator when I can feel it. I know a predator when I can see it, and I was being hunted. I could feel it."
Okay, at this Pilgrim nods kind of solemnly, silently. And okay, is there anything else that any of you want to say? Essentially they're just both kind of looking to you to get information. They're just kind of waiting to see if anybody offers anything or says anything.
Do you guys know anything about this type of creature?
At this, uh, Pilgrim kind of looks away. She turns her head noticeably to the side, and her eyes kind of roll down and look
Ymir's
toward the
glance
ground.
locks on to Pilgrim's movement, as given the events that happened before, he's obviously still, there's still some barriers that he's thrown up based on past events, and he notices her reaction, so his eyes just shift and lock onto her. So he definitely noticed that.
Okay, as you do this, right as you lock your gaze onto Pilgrim, Harmony steps between you and her very slowly and deliberately. And you notice that her hand very casually drops down to a more firm grip at the base of her spear, while also placing her other hand on the hilt of her sword. She doesn't have any expression on her face whatsoever of hostility, but you notice this as a mother apex predator
Yeah,
standing before a cub.
yep.
And
Mother bear.
as
Yep.
she does so, she makes sure that she positions herself between all three of you and Pilgrim. At this, Pilgrim slowly takes an instinctual step back, almost like they've encountered this kind of situation before, and just unconsciously she knows to let the companion deal with these kinds of things. Harmony quickly takes one hand off of the hilt of her sword, keeping the firm grip on the spear though, and places it up in a gesture of supplication with her palm out flat to you guys in front of her chest. And she says, "The young one," and she puts her head down and thinks for a moment, almost saddened. And when she looks up at you again, she says, "She was being called last night. Something could sense her." She lowers her hand and then looks at you and says very earnestly, "I have no idea why it would have involved any of you, though. Did anyone else share this vision?" And she just looks to all three of you, just wanting to see.
I nod my
Well,
head.
Okay?
based on what, yeah, Ymir nods his head.
Okay? And Okay, and Ren is the only one they weren't really, you know,
Oh,
Along
that's
with everything. Yeah,
so
I'm
okay. So you once they have confirmation that you all experienced it, they look at each other again even more concerned because the vision is one thing, but you guys being looped into this, they actually look completely confused as to how that could even happen.
sorry if
Okay?
my head now was confusing. Mine was more to proceed, not to be me too type thing.
Oh,
If that
so
makes sense.
did you want it? I'm sorry. So you wanted to say that you had had the same vision, or no?
No, I had not. I was not even being like continue not to be like me too. It was not a me too. It was just like a I'm listening, go on type thing. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Um, no worries. So that's yeah. Essentially, that's kind of what you guys are picking up from them. They're just they appear to be really worried that any of your number would kind of be included in this. So okay. At this, Harmony starts kind of gathering her wits very quickly, and she nods at you all as if to say, a mystery for another day then. And she quickly claps Pilgrim on the shoulder, kind of snapping her out of her kind of daze. And as she does so, Pilgrim starts turning and heading towards the main entrance once again. Harmony kind of waves over her shoulder as she turns, kind of signaling you guys, let's go. And she begins following after Pilgrim. You hear a snort from behind you, and you see that Wotek is folded into the group. He nuzzles up for a morning scratch and eye booger removal from his brother that actually has fingers to do that for him. And or a rag. I mean, I guess if you're a highfalutin, you know, some kind of civilized whatever, you're gonna use a rag. They're probably pretty big eye boogies. My fucking dogs
Yeah.
get some nasty shit, so I'm thinking a bear's got
Well,
like
especially
eggs coming
a
out. So
mega a mega bear.
right, it's all
10 feet
crusty.
tall, 10 feet tall from claw to shoulder. Remember, he's 20 feet tall when he rears up on his hind legs. So
Right.
yeah, he's a big ass bear.
He got
5,000 pounds.
ostrich-sized eggs
Pretty
coming
much,
out of his
yeah.
eyes.
Big old nugget. All right.
Here, Red, you want to collect this for your alchemy?
It all stinks. Oh, that's
Yeah.
gnarly. Oh, that's gnarly. All right. So as you guys all join back up and are ready to go, they're obviously heading towards the entrance. What do you do?
Follow suit.
All right. You fall in, man. Everybody down?
Yep. Ymir relaxes his posture after seeing Harmony do the mother bear thing, understanding on a primal level what just occurred there. So he's, just showing him that the group that he's completely affable with moving forward. Like that's a story for another day. You put it well yourself.
Okay. All right, so everybody is in agreement. You guys all start heading towards the entrance, and as you guys do, you notice a couple of things. You had been offered to be able to take one of the airships down if you chose, but it appears that Harmony is heading back towards the main kind of entrance that goes down through the structure itself, down through the mountain that you came up through. As she gets close to where you guys actually entered this level, the top area of the monastery, she looks over at Pilgrim, and Pilgrim kind of pauses for a second and just nods at her, kind of like, yes, I'm sure. And Harmony shrugs her shoulders and just kind of nods, almost like in an annoyed manner, but just, not really pissed, just kind of like, fine. And so they continue walking past the entrance to the, to the cathedral where you guys first entered. And as they keep walking, Harmony says, she's going to jump. If you guys want to wait a second, I'll come down with you. Just give me a second. And she turns back around and they quickly start walking off again. Now, as you guys, I want you guys to be able to see, essentially, they walk over to a point kind of like over here. Oh, I guess I can't click on the expanded images. I could do it on here. Give me 1 second. I just realized there's a way for me to do this. We can drop all the opacity. Perfect. Okay, so if you close out that image and you just look at the one on the actual tabletop, it should be like this. Okay, this area here.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
They essentially walk over to that edge over there. And as they do, Pilgrim stands at the precipice for a second, within the few seconds that you guys have been watching. Now, do you want to continue watching? Do you want to head into the building? Do you want to do anything else?
So they're kind of like in front of us?
Yeah, they're probably about 50 feet away from you, in front of you, but they've already basically gotten over towards, like I said, what would be kind of the edge of this kind of like plateau that you're on.
Yeah, I'll continue to watch.
Okay. Anybody doing anything different?
Real quick, where is my vehicle at this moment? Like at the bottom of this fucking...
Correct. It's still at the base camp, down basically at the very base of this facility.
I'll watch with Akama.
Okay, as you guys are watching, essentially it looks like Pilgrim just kind of steps towards the edge and looks down. There's a railing there, obviously to protect tourists and everything. And as she looks down, you see that the wind is kind of billowing her robe around her. It almost gives her kind of an angelic quality in the early morning sunlight, as all of those hues and that light is being reflected off of her. Her image is kind of golden and fuzzy against the light of the morning, and Harmony, in this beautiful moment, as it's almost like a representation of something holy in front of you, you hear Harmony kind of bark out very short-temperedly, if you're gonna do it, for Christ's sake, go! With this, Pilgrim almost seems to let out like a little, just kind of a humph and of disapproval, and she plants one palm up on the railing that's about chest high for her, and with the grace of a jungle cat, she just effortlessly hoists herself over the edge of the railing, and as she clears it, instead of starting to sink down in the normal manner that gravity dictates we all obey, she stops at the apex of her kind of leaping motion and her pivot over the railing. And instead of starting to slip downward, she actually moves forwards, slowly. Her form continues to almost float at a perfectly level height, about 2 or 3 feet above where the railing crested. And as she moves forward, you notice that even the billowing robe that she's wearing, of this kind of silky, pearlescent sort of material, you see that its flow seems to slow down, much slower than the wind and the velocity that she's traveling would dictate, almost as though it's underwater. And as she continues moving forward in that kind of direction for the next several seconds, you hear gasps and even some screams coming from onlookers who have now taken notice of this, as this strange, alien, humanoid girl seems to have just leapt to her doom, only to be held by what could only be explained as the hand of God. As she slowly moves forward, she seems to make a swimming motion with her arms. And as she does so, her orientation in the sky adjusts accordingly, as one would expect within a body of water. She does this and angles her position to where she appears to be diving down. And as her robe flows up to meet this new arc and spreads out behind her, she begins to pick up speed and begins to start sinking down towards the mountain's base below, going extremely slowly, only a few miles an hour at first, but slowly picking up a graceful and apparently controlled kind of momentum. As she starts heading down, apparently Harmony just is going to kind of watch for just a few seconds, but apparently she's unwilling to watch the entire journey. You guys all get the sense that it's because she's actually extremely nervous and worried and doesn't want to just sit there like bordering on a heart attack. So she turns around very curtly and begins kind of like half jogging back towards the entrance, to kind of start heading down the staircase once again, and try and meet Pilgrim at the base camp. She.
Can I possibly,
Go ahead.
since I have my cloak on, would it be okay if I kind of fluffed out my cloak, kind of just did one of those, like just push
Like
my
some
arms
Dracula
back
shit?
for me? Yeah, a little bit. And then
I got
as
you.
I do that, can I cast fly through my cloak? And then just look at my friends real quick with a smile, and then try to hop over that rail too and follow.
Yeah, absolutely. Go as you go ahead and grab the edges of your cloak. You kind of wish that you would have had the foresight to install some almost like wrist, mountings or something, and it gives you an idea, right? But you figure this is going to work just fine. You said you want to smile at him and then run towards the edge, or
Yeah, kind of just give him a quick like a little like half smile, and then turn away and run off and jump over the railing.
all right, you kind of give him a you give him a smirk, and you start dashing forward as Harmony basically hits the position where you guys are all standing. As your companion runs off towards the ledge, do you guys want to do anything?
I give him the finger guns and I say, good luck.
Those finger guns.
I would say Ymir is captivated by what he's seeing Pilgrim do in the air and the implications of what that means, because apparently they might have been kin or possibly are kin as far as so it makes him wonder about the power that might be lurking within him based on his vision and what I believe his name was the jailer talked about with Snaggletooth. So he's captivated by what she's doing. Hardly even notices Ren run off right before he leaps off and joins her, basically, and then it kind of shocks him when he fucking sees Ren head toward kind of snaps out of it for a second when he sees his compatriot head towards the ledge.
Right. You snap out of it just in time to see him taking his last kind of large steps towards the railing. And there's quite a few onlookers now, probably a dozen people spread out that are all kind of, some of them are openly kind of sobbing. A lot of the ladies are openly sobbing because they think that girl, they definitely thought she was going to die, and now they're still, their mind is just trying to kind of reset itself. And then there's a few guys that are kind of, they're starting to shout and kind of let out some kind of, just objections because things are being done in front of everybody in the crowd that's upsetting, some of the ladies and some of the like younger people and stuff like that. Well, not younger people. There's no kids around, but you get what I'm saying. They're just giving that normal reaction to something disturbing the peace.
Right.
But everybody looks a little alarmed as they see this, dark, cloaked figure kind of jogging forward and looking like he's about to dive after the girl that's like slow motion taking a nosedive. All right, and Akama, what are you doing? You guys are. Did you want to stand there and watch Ren, or did you want to start